Hey, you guys, it's Lynn. Tanya is
Hey.
here. She's in the background because she has her video off because she's doing some transmuting work in the background at the same time. She's multitasking, but she is here. So you won't see her, and for some reason, it's not putting both of us up there. So I wanted to say hi. For those of you that are new to the group, Tanya and I have been working together for about a year and a half. We are very, very committed to speaking truths in the true twin community. A lot of them are not popular truths, but we are committed to speaking truths. So a lot of what we say is a little controversial, but I want you to know that these are not based on our opinions. This is not based on what we're seeing in the community. We base everything that we share on work that we do with our clients through what we have experienced ourselves and through what we do on soul work. We work directly with God, Michael, and other 100% holy beings. Everything that we do, we validate over and over, cross-validate. A couple of times a year, we have a third party come in and validate what we do on the soul level. We have 3D validations for a lot of the stuff we do. We have validations through our clients. You can look on our testimonial page on our website for some of the things that people have been experiencing when working with us. So we don't take the information that we share lightly at all. So there's that. Okay, there's been some questions. Go ahead and put your questions in the comment section below. We're going to be looking at them as we roll. There's been a lot of controversy about who are true twins, actually. Twins are the 144,000. They are very, very rare. They are 1 in 28,000 people on Earth. There are 288,000 separate twins. There are 144,000 pairs out of 8 billion people in the world. So they're very rare. There's been a lot of misleading info in the community that there are so many twins in union, and I'm a twin, everybody's a twin, my grandmother's a twin, my dog's a twin. That's not true. There are very specific characteristics that all twins have that are universal for all twins. And it's not just I get a knowing or I feel like I love this guy or whatever it is. It's deeper than that. So the reason that we are here is because we have a job to do. This isn't about union. This isn't about any of that. This is because we have a job to do. So we have specific things that we are supposed to be doing. We're going to go through those in a minute because Renee has a question. Tana, do you have anything to add? She's in the background. You can't see her. She's here.
I am. I'm here. No, basically, it's one of these things where this misleading information is leading a lot. Either it's leading twins off path, or it's putting people on the path that don't belong.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is that some of these questions that we're getting are questions that have been answered. But I think that is so much misleading information out there that people spin around in it. They really don't know which direction to go in.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter if it seems like it's a minuscule question. Ask it. We'll answer it.
Yeah. Tanya and I are committed to helping people make progress. We're not committed to a lot of the foo-foo, union talk, all this kind of stuff that's out there in the community, and what's my twin doing with his karmic, all this kind of shit. We're helping you. What we're committed to is helping you navigate these situations so that you can get through it and make progress. So your twin also makes progress. So you guys are moving past all this crap that everybody's dealing with. Tanya and I have both been through hell in our journeys too. Everything you guys have experienced, we've been through it over and over and over, so we know how you feel. But there's a lot of things that you can do to move past the stuff that's painful and into a place that's beautiful and peaceful and loving, and that's why we're here. Renee is saying perfect. Hot flashes like a mother effer. I don't know what's going on. Kind of like when I wake up out of sleep sweating bullets from fighting dark, but then it's just happening throughout the day a lot and it's super uncomfortable. I've been protecting and clearing day and night, sometimes midday. Yeah, okay, so all twins have had their Kundalini sparked, all of them. If you're a twin and you're on this path, you've had your Kundalini, and there have been instances where God has brought the entire collective of twin flames up and has sparked the Kundalini. So if you're having random hot flashes during the day, that's your Kundalini. it feels like you're having like menopause or some shit. It's ridiculous. Don't worry about it. Just, it's part of it. You're burning stuff off. Your frequency is shooting up. Especially if you've had issues with dark where your Kundalini has been suppressed. You're going to burn it off when you get past that. Renee's saying that sorry, Renee, I said your name. Nobody knows who you are. I have to be real careful about that. She's been fighting her dark like a mofo because we've been working with her very, very closely, and we know that she knows how to get rid of it. If she has cleared something out and then her Kundalini had been suppressed by that, if you do a clearing and then your Kundalini rises again, you're going to start sweating like a mofo. So you sweat head to toe. It feels awful, but you'll get through it. Just let it burn off. Also, a lot of twins right now are doing mission work in their sleep. So if you're waking up and you are sweating or you're soaked or you're like, holy crap, you can even have a strange scent to it. It could be like flowery or earthy. You're doing mission work in your sleep. There was a time where Tanya and I were both told we're doing about 60% of our mission work in our sleep. 40% we do during the day with full awareness because this is what we do half the day. So if you wake up sweating, that just means you're really busy.
Also, time lapses. You guys probably will start noticing some time lapses, especially, or I don't really want to say time lapses. It's like where you're losing time.
Yeah, that's happened to me before where I was jogging around this dock that was on the water, and then I'd go around the beach. I'd go like this, up the beach, or I would go down the beach and I would go around in this circle. I'd run on the beach, I'd go around the dock, and I got to the dock, I got to this part, and all of a sudden I'm on the other side of the dock going the wrong direction. And I was like, how the hell I'd lost 8 minutes. So it happens. It's weird. You get pulled where you need to be. And sometimes you're going to lose time.
Yeah. You can even have it when you're driving. I've done the same thing. It's kind of not cool to be on autopilot while you're driving, but I ended up getting home safely. That's all that mattered. And everybody else was safe too. So anyway.
Good morning from Barat. I see you. It's good morning there. We're like, everybody's going to be asleep. Yeah, someone is saying, okay, she's saying, yes, that's exactly what it feels like. No worries about the name. I don't mind. Okay, thanks, Renee. She's saying, best news ever here. I was thinking dark is kicking my behind. Well, yeah, but Renee's been like super vigilant about her dark, and we've been working with her because she's experienced open attacks and was able to recognize it and move through it.
Yeah, most of the time too, you'll notice that if you are sweating and it's like a major hot flash, I've not really encountered any dark attacks that are like that other than 5G, but there was no sweating that came with that. It just felt like my skin was on fire. Dark
doesn't usually make you sweat. Dark makes your twin act really funny and say stupid shit and say rude shit that he normally wouldn't. It'll make him act out of character, or it'll make him he'll act out against the twinship. He doesn't know he's doing it in most cases. Dark can do things like it can mess with all areas of your life. But like, I know that when Tanya and I are in session and there's voodoo there, we'll get a headache. Both of us. It's like a universal thing. People that are clairsentient can feel it. It almost feels gross. It's just a gross feeling. You just know when dark's around. If you're being attacked physically, it can be rashes on your hands, hives. It can be rashes. It can be all kinds of stuff. I mean, whatever your weakness is what you're going to get hit with.
Yeah. Every twin has every person who is light has what I like to call an alarm system. You're always going to know when dark's around, and it's usually physically painful. It's not something that's sweating or just getting a hot flash. There's usually pain that comes along with it of some sort, or pressure, because it's your body's way of kind of repelling it.
Yeah. Does anybody have any other questions? Okay, I'm going to take some that have been posted in the group because we've got people asking all kinds of stuff lately. There are people that are going, okay, we've had this group for like 2 years, and we've gone through a lot of this stuff, but we have people that are new to the group. We've got a lot of walk-ins that are coming in that are like, what in the hell are we supposed to be doing? What are we really supposed to be doing on this path? So let's break that down because it gets confusing. There's also a lot of misconception about what twins are really supposed to be doing in the community right now, and people are kind of lost. Mm-hmm. So number one thing, if you have dark in your journey, you have to get the dark the fuck away, like ASAP. Because if your twin is being hit with dark, if you're being hit with dark, it is your job. The reason that you're noticing it is because to get you to step into your power against it. That's what we're here for. If twins were not going to fight their dark and we were supposed to ask Michael to do it, and team, just take my dark away. Hey, Michael, I have something going on here. I'm praying to Michael. I'm praying to God for it to go away. That's not what we're supposed to do. We have all the power in us to be able to fight dark.
Lynn and I have also said, yes, of course, God and Michael and all of them, all the team has the ability to do this, but what the hell are we here for if they're just going to handle it for us? There's a reason that we're here, and this is part of mission. Even if you're not actively fighting it, you know, like Lynn and I do, you're still supposed to be keeping it off of yourself. You're supposed to be keeping it off of your twin and keeping yourself cleared out. Because if you are, the thing is if you're getting hit by dark, you're either to the point where your protections don't work because your vibe is low, or because you're not protected at all.
Yeah.
Those are pretty much the two things that we got going on right now throughout the collective.
Yeah. Michael is basically saying, well, if I was here to fight this for you guys, then what the hell are you here for? Like,
well, I do want to add one
more.
They
wouldn't need us here
exactly.
If they were going to do everything for us.
They will allow you to get hit to make you learn how to do it.
Yep.
So
if you've got dark on you and you're saying, oh, but I'm saging it and I'm doing prayers and I'm lighting candles and all this kind of stuff, super important. You're going to have to dive deeper than that. Twins have abilities that are more powerful than dark itself. Dark knows this. Oh, yeah. So once you step into your power against dark, dark will pretty much not mess with you anymore. I hate to say that. Twin fire is absolutely lethal against dark. There are elements that we use. There's energy, there's intent. There are certain things that we do as twins that transcends dark's ability to do anything to us. So if you guys are looking for information on that, Tanya and I have clearing and protections that anybody can do. They can follow through it. It takes like half an hour just to learn how to do it. After that, you can bang it out in like 5 minutes in the morning, 5 minutes in the evening. If you feel something's going wrong with your twin, you can do it in the car. I can do it in the grocery store standing in the line. If I feel like something's not right with my twin, I'll just do it right then and there. It's really easy to learn it. You guys are way powerful. We have a guided clearing and protection that is in our scheduler. It's like $11 or something. It's like, there's no reason that you guys can't be doing this. Learn your power against dark.
Right.
You should do it in the morning, do it in the evening. And then if something is coming at you that's stronger than that, if you've got somebody that's sending intent towards you, you don't understand why you can't shake this crap, me and Tanya can go in there and clear it out in like an hour. It's like, no problem. But reach out if you need help with this. But this is number one. If you guys have dark in your journey, you are not moving forward. At this stage of the game, all twins are supposed to be moving actively forward. If you've got dark in your journey, you know, you're not only standing still, but you're sliding backwards. Mm-hmm. And if you're not taking care of this, and if you're not moving forward, God's yanking people. It's not a fear thing. It's basically like awareness. We need to be aware of why we're here, and we need to be able to step into our power.
Yeah, Lynn and I have actually discovered that dark is actually, they're so much more knowledgeable about us than we are. Mm-hmm. And that's a problem. Because if your enemy knows you, all your strengths, all your weaknesses, they can annihilate you with it.
Oh, yeah.
So, and they've spent a lot of time doing this. Like the different, I know the people who are in our tactical group, they know our protections change a lot, or sometimes, you know, we might change them or we're adding stuff to it. That's because dark's found a loophole. So we have to go back in, figure out how they're getting in, and pretty much kind of cement the loophole shut.
Mm-hmm.
So that they can't get in anymore. So if they're that knowledgeable about us, it would actually pay for all twins to know exactly what they're up against, because they already know us.
Yeah, that was basically it in a nutshell. I mean,
Yeah.
It's really interesting because there are so many twins that don't want to face their dark, or they're in this woo-woo mentality of dark doesn't exist, it's just my shadow self. And it's like, well, do you have a twinship left? Because if you're not willing to face dark as it is, it's a problem. We are light. We are stronger than dark. And the funny thing is, there's a lot of people that are afraid of it. They're like, I don't want anything to do with that. It scares the shit out of me. It's intimidating. Dark knows how powerful you are. So the minute you figure it out, it's going to blow you away.
Exactly.
So that's the job. And it's really easy to learn. I mean, you can learn this shit in half an hour. So we did we did an event just like, I don't know, a couple of weeks ago that was, it was like $11 for a live clearing and protection. It was supposed to be half an hour. We were on there an hour and a half. So we will be doing these more frequently. So if you guys are interested in that, clearing and protections in the scheduler, and then watch for these events that come out, because we'll do more group lives of these, because they're fascinating. And I love the questions you guys ask afterwards.
Exactly.
Second thing, God connection. You guys have got to solidify your connection with God. Mm-hmm. There was a DM recently that had spent so much time praying to God. He's like, but we're not allowed to have a communication with God. We're not worthy. We're not, humans aren't supposed to be able to do that. Well, we're the 144,000. It's our job to communicate with God so that we know what we're supposed to be doing down here. And we're supposed to be giving our guidance on the work that we're supposed to be doing.
Right.
So
a lot of times it's kind of funny because it's almost like there's specific steps that you establish your connection with team. You're not having to spin around in any of this misinformation, because the first thing you do is you can go to team and go, okay, what's up with this? They're going to tell you what your next steps are. So you're not spinning around in something that either it doesn't make sense to you, or it's kind of sending you in circles. Mm-hmm. But it's like, that is first and foremost the most important thing. If you're not connecting to your twin or to team in 5D on a soul level, then that right there is half of it. It's probably more than half, probably about 85-90% of the whole thing. So
yeah, that's the big piece of it right there, because we're supposed to be connecting on a soul level in order to move all of this shit into the 3D, so everything starts trickling into the 3D and people start moving actually in the 3D.
Yeah.
God was saying to this DM recently, he said, maybe it was a month or two ago, he said, if all you're doing is praying to me and not having a conversation, you're missing the most important part, which is my word. Mm-hmm. So if you're just saying stuff out to God, I need this, do this, give me this, but you can't hear him, then you're not getting the real guidance. Most twins are getting guidance, so much guidance throughout the day, but they don't recognize that that's what it is, because they're expecting right off the bat, oh, I'm going to talk to God. You want me to talk to God? Two-way. I'm expecting he's going to stand in front of me in some way and make it very clear and have like a full conversation in 3D. It doesn't work like that. It's like a process in learning to communicate two-way, having a two-way conversation with God, with the archangels, with your specific team and your guides, and with your twin. All twins should be able to do this. We all have the abilities to be able to do this. It's just recognizing what you're getting, where it's coming from, how to do it, how to move into it, because they're going to baby step you into it so they don't freak you out. Tanya and I did a webinar on this Wednesday. We have another one coming up Saturday. If anybody's interested in learning how to do this, if you haven't seen the event come through, message us or post in the comment and we'll give you the link for it so you can register for it. But it's really not that hard. I mean, we did an hour webinar. We ended up being on there for 2 hours because people were asking questions and we were having conversations with people. But learning to communicate with team in this journey is really easy, because there's just key components to this that people kind of don't recognize, or we help you recognize that, holy shit, you're getting a lot more guidance than you think you are if you really pay attention. So if you guys need help with that, we're here for that. We can do it one-on-one too if you want, but the webinar is up. We have a recording from last Wednesday. If you just want the recording and you want to do it on your own, just message us. But the communication with team is key.
Mm-hmm.
DFs have been moving through this soul level work. We always talk about leading your twin. The DFs are supposed to work the soul level. Now we're supposed to be helping our twin or our DM with this information on the soul level, so it trickles into their 3D too. So the more communication you have with your twin and with team, the more you're moving you and your twin forward into their path, into your path, together and separately.
Right.
So 5D and telepathy with your twin is also key.
In fact, the 3D kind of gets withheld if the 5D is not mastered. So it's just, it's one of those things where everybody wonders, well, why is he not talking in the 3D or whatever? There's a reason for that. Because on a soul level, you are supposed to be, as a DF, you're supposed to be at this point mastering the 5D. Then the 3D communication comes in.
Yep.
After the 5D is mastered. And even when you return back to the 3D, what ends up happening is if you let the 5D go and it becomes lax, they'll yank it away again, because it's supposed to be a constant thing back and forth. Yes, you communicate through soul all the time, but the thing is the intent and actually doing it. Basically, it's just using the intent. You have to have your 3D awareness of what you're doing, because you're pushing basically on a soul level with the intent that you're talking to him all the time, or you're talking to team all the time, and actually being able to get 3D feedback. Like if you're hearing it, if you're seeing it, whatever.
There's a quick question. So somebody is saying God communicates. There's little typos in here, so I'm having trouble with it. So correct me if I'm wrong. God communicates with me I can't read this. God communicates with me. So we all true twin flames, and every person who really intends apart from true flames. True twin flames there's only a certain number of them. Even when they are moved off path, there's a walk-in that comes in. And it's a soul level thing. It's not somebody on your YouTube was discussing this today, that yes, you are one of the tribes, but is not based on your bloodline. There's a lot of people that are RH negative that believe that they are true twin flames because they're RH negative, which is the bloodline from Christ, all this stuff. That's not the case. True twin flames are based on the split soul. So whichever that split of soul, whichever vessels those move into, regardless of the bloodline, regardless of the biological lineage, that's who the twin flames are.
Right.
This person is saying, I don't watch internet till 11. Morning chores, HV finished, but today it's all divinely guided to watch this conversation. 2211. Glad you're here. So that's great. I mean, there's a lot of people that are asking questions in our group about different beings, right? As long as they're 100% holy and you can validate when they show up, they're talking to you. If I am connecting, or if I am like, first of all, limit your conversation to 100% holy beings. If the person that I'm speaking with, or the being that I'm speaking with, is unholy, or is something other than a being that is 100% holy, I renounce it, I rebuke it, I bind it to the cross, I command it to leave my energy and leave this conversation immediately in the name of God, and to never come back. Start speaking to that being again. If they're still there, then they're holy. You can also test them a little bit further, and this is a little bit controversial. Do this carefully. If you're really feeling like something is dark, there's a million ways that you can validate this, but if you're really feeling like something's dark, but they're kind of taunting you, you can even say, I'm going to give you 5 seconds to leave if you're dark. If you are not 100% holy, I am asking you and commanding you in the name of God to leave right now. You do not have permission in my space. You don't have permission in my energy. Get the fuck out. If you are not 100% holy, you can say, and Tanya and I have done this before when we've been working on the soul level and we've seen something dark there. We're getting ready to blow this whole place out. We're going to kill everything in it that's dark. We see you sitting there. We know you're dark. You are not allowed to strike dark if you're a twin. If you're light, you can't strike first. So we had to warn them. It's like, we're getting ready to blow this whole place out. You're sitting there taunting us. I'm going to count to 5 and I'm going to blow this place with twin fire. So I'm going to warn you to get the fuck out. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, I'm going to blast fire through this whole place. If you choose to be here and subject yourself to that, then it's on you. Right. 5, 4, 3, and they started running out the door. Mm-hmm. So threaten them with your fire. So I'm going to blow fire on your ass in 3 seconds if you don't get the hell out of my space. It's that easy. If they're dark, they're out. They'll go. If you're not a twin and you do this and they know it, they'll be able to tell. They'll call you on your bluff and they'll just sit there. So go, Tanya.
I don't have really a lot more to add on that other than just basically us following the rules of engagement. Mm-hmm. When it comes to something like that. Truly light, you can't strike first. So we always have to act on the defense.
Always act in defense.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so telepathy, and back to the telepathy in the 5D. Telepathy in 5D with your twin, super important. Somebody asked a question today, how much am I supposed to do it? How often? I didn't feel really kind of led to do it. At this stage of the game, DFs, your job is to lead your twin in 100% unconditional love, which means you go to 5D every single day, love the shit out of him, support him, ask how you can help, what can you do, bring him and connect him with team, ask team to assist him in whatever he needs to learn, whatever it needs to be brought to his awareness in the 3D, push for that. I want this to trickle into his 3D awareness. Teach him, guide him on the maximum of what he can handle, and God and team know what he needs to know first. They're going to give it to him first. So have them, leave your twin with God and team in 5D every single night. Take him over. I surrender him to you. Work with him. Help him trickle into his 3D so that he can have an awareness and understanding of all this stuff. Telepathically, love the shit out of him all day long.
It doesn't, see, that's the thing is these the DMs are not used to this. They're not used to the unconditional love. They're not used to people giving them love no matter what.
Yeah.
And in fact, it's funny because Lynn and I have been talking about this lately. A lot of people in general do not understand what unconditional love is.
Yeah.
And that's a massive, massive problem in the twin flame community. If you're only loving yourself and you're not loving your twin completely unconditionally, and I'm talking about, I don't give a damn if they come in and they punch you in the face. You're still supposed to be unconditionally loving. And I know people are not going to like that I said that, but it's the truth. We've seen it in our own journeys. We've seen it in others.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's one of these things where we can sit here all day long and we can tell you how to unconditionally love your twin. But until you reach the point of actually feeling it, there's not a lot that can be done.
This is one of the hardest things to teach, honestly, because Tanya and I literally were saying earlier today, like, what is it going to take? And we had to go back to our own journeys and try to figure out, okay, where was that place where I fell deeply into unconditional love with my twin, and then we never looked back. And in my own, it was, I'll be honest with you, like, I've had the same struggles as everybody in this journey. We've talked about them in videos way back in the day. But what happened was every single time when I was experiencing a doubt or a fear or some kind of objection or some kind of something that was kind of preventing me from being in an unconditionally loving place. It could be, I made an assumption that was incorrect, but I'm really wanting this, but I'm not seeing this, or my expectations weren't in line with what I was receiving, right? In every single one of those instances, team would be saying, and I would hear it through Tanya too, team would be like, careful,
Mm-hmm.
We have the choice and we have the ability to flip every doubt, every fear, everything that is not unconditionally loving. We have the choice to flip it instantly. And I got in the point where I was being told that my twinship was on the line. A lot of people are in this position, but they don't know it. And it's not scary. It's basically designed to kind of kick you in the ass to be like, because this happened to me. Team said to me so many times, like I would have a doubt or I would have something creep in my head or something would happen where I would be like, oh, something is wrong. And instantly it was like, team's like, careful. And they're watching to see how you're handling it. And if you can just be like, it's okay. I'm going to love you no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay. I'm going to support you no matter what you decide.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay. If you're lashing out at me, it's my job to figure out why you're lashing out and look at the source of it. We'll talk about mirroring shit later, but it's not like it is in the community. It's not that. It's if your twin is lashing out, there's something wrong. There's either dark that's making him do it, or there's some kind of wound or some kind of block that you're both reflecting back and forth that you need to get rid of it. So instead of like looking at your twin as, holy shit, he's being a jerk, or he's not giving me what I want, or he's failing me, or really these things are just red flags for you to go, you got to take care of this. Mm-hmm. So in every one of those instances, a lot of the time, all you got to do is if you have a doubt, what's the opposite of doubt? Just the minute it hits you, just flip it instantly upside down. Mm-hmm. If you're doubtful about something, the opposite of doubt is faith. Mm-hmm. So if I'm like feeling insecure about something my twin's doing or saying, the opposite is faith. The only way that you can get out of this is to basically go, I'm going to trust you no matter what.
A lot of times we hear, well, we're not doormats. Nobody's saying that you're not a doormat. I mean, that you are a doormat and that you're supposed to, it's the way you react to it. Of course, we're human. We're going to have hurt feelings, but it's what you do with those hurt feelings that can make or break the entire thing.
Yeah.
Every one of us has had heartbreak on this journey. There's not a single twin that I have come in contact with that hasn't. We have lessons to learn from that. But the thing is that it's just like Lynn was saying, there's a reason. It's almost like part of it's like psychology. Okay, say there's something going on with the child and he's kicking you in the shin. Your first instinct will either be two things: to spank him because he kicked you in the shin, or to figure out why the hell he kicked you in the shin.
Yep.
There's something deeper. And that's exactly how you have to look at these issues if they're lashing out in the 3D or even through telepathy. If they're lashing out at you, there's a reason why. It's something you've shown them they didn't like. They were scared of. It was a wound. It was something. Something triggered them to react that way.
Yeah.
With you, it's your job as a DF to figure out what it is and flip it on its head.
Yep. Instantly.
Mm-hmm.
Because what team was showing me is like there was times where I didn't understand what was happening, or there was this weird communication and it totally threw me, and I was like, and it totally threw me. And then team would jump in and go, careful, because within just a matter of seconds, they're like, what is this doing to your twin right now? Because I'm responding that way. My twin's going into the toilet energetically. He is crushed. And you know how long it takes to pull them back out of that? Once you do that, it can take 2 seconds to throw your twin on his face or her face. So it's really, really important. And it got to the point where every time I got a doubt, I would just go flip it right into faith and go, I trust you. It's fine. I know you're going to handle it the way that you're supposed to. I have totally trust and faith in you to do this, right? Or whatever it is. Even if like they're lashing out at you, there's a reason for it. It's like, okay, go up into 5D and ask, what's going on? What are you struggling with? What can I help you with? What do you want to tell me about this? Don't interrogate them. But go into 5D and ask these questions. Say, what can I do to help you? Because I'm feeling like something's not right here. And then do it. But if you can flip it instantly, you're gonna reach this consistent place where you're moving into unconditional love all the time. The cool thing about that is I don't want you guys to feel like you're gonna get nailed every single time. Like team's not gonna be saying to you, and we're not gonna be saying to you, oh my God, you're tripping out, so we're gonna rip your journey away. But really, we're all being tested with this. We're supposed to be vibrating and navigating in 100% unconditional love all the time. The only way that you can do that consistently is to not subject yourself to the little shit that comes in. You've got to flip it on its head instantly. If you get to the point where you can do that, it is the most beautiful place. It is the most beautiful place when all you do is care about your twin for whatever they're doing. I mean, that's detachment. I love him more than anything. I love her more than anything, either or. I love them more than my own life, and I will do whatever it takes to support them, to love them, and be a safe place for them.
A lot of and even in showing them unconditional love. In the 3D, they're not going to trust that either. So they're going to test the hell out of it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's almost like every time you're sending them unconditional love, even if it's in the 3D, even sometimes through telepathy and on a soul level, if they're receiving this unconditional love, it feels foreign. It's like a consistency thing. You constantly have to keep giving it to them, giving it to them, giving it to them. And eventually they get used to that feeling. It's not so foreign anymore. And they warm up to it. Because it's almost like they're standing back. Lots of love relationships they've had in the past, they've never had this unconditional love.
Weird.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's like they're expecting you to act as we call karmic. It's up to us as DFs to show them a different way, to show them what unconditional love feels like. But the way that you have to get to that is you have to almost get into that place. Well, not almost. You have to get into that place yourself.
Yeah. Oh, see, like there's just somebody, you guys will see her, but she pops up. We've worked with this person a lot in the last couple of years, and she's saying unconditional love is definitely a wonderful place to be. It is the most beautiful place to be because the only thing that matters is that your twin is okay. Mm-hmm. It's like they're having a bad day. You drop everything, and what can I do to help them? You feel them energetically. I'm going to send them violet flame. Oop, I feel like something's going on. I'm going to calm them down. The only thing that matters is not your own needs. It's like you are loving them like a child. This is true unconditional love. Like if your child was going through something, you wouldn't be like, well, what am I getting out of this? Or how come he's not treating me okay? You'd be like, what can I do to help my child? Right? It's the same thing. Mm-hmm. It's the most beautiful place because this is true detachment. It doesn't matter what you get from it. The expectation is no longer there. This is detachment. This is, I just want to make sure that in every moment I'm doing whatever I can to help him and support him and love him or her. And when you finally get to that place where you're there consistently, it's the most enriching, beautiful place that you turn that corner and it's split.
It's kind of funny when you get to that place, even when they're lashing out at you or they're acting out. It's kind of, you just reach this place of, okay, this is not personal. There's something going on here.
Yeah. I hate to say this, but like I have a special needs kid. It's interesting because I would see him lash out, right? He's everything that he did, because I'm his mother and I love him unconditionally, no matter what this kid did, in my eyes, I was always like, what's going on with him? Mm-hmm. Why is he doing what he's doing? Why is he lashing out at me? Why is he barking at me? Why is he throwing a fit? Why it's upsetting him? You kind of got to be that way with your twin too. It's like, okay, if they're having a bad day or if they're popping off at you, there's a reason for it. So go find the source of it. This is where the mirroring comes in, where people are talking about the mirroring being something completely different, where you just forgive them and walk away. I don't like the word forgive, because when you say somebody that you're forgiving them, you're basically placing blame on something for they've already done. And now you're dismissing it. I don't think that's healthy. With true unconditional love, you're looking at them like, I understand where they're at. I'm going to love them through it and help them through it. It's not about forgiving them or they're doing something wrong or judging them. It's what is really going on with them to create this reaction that they're doing. And then how do I help them with it? Yeah. There's a lot of people that are like, well, how come I have to do all the work? Why do I have to lead? I'm going to, walk away from him and concentrate on myself. I'm going to love myself first. That's how I'm honoring him. And I'm like, what are you doing to honor him? Here's what's beautiful about this. This is how it's mirrored. You're both doing it at the same time. So you think you're the only one doing the work. Your DM is doing the work when you're doing the work. Even if you don't know about it, even if you're not feeling it, you think you're doing it all. You think you're putting all the work in, but he's reflecting it. Yeah. He's freaking got it. So if it's not that you're doing all the work and they're doing nothing, you're going to see that they've been doing just as much on the back end, whether they realize it or not,
This
or
too
whether they
is-
want to talk about it or not.
yeah, the integration has actually been happening with quite a few twins. I can't say necessarily that it's happening with all of them, but I know that there is certain ones that we work with ourselves. The integration period is pretty much where everything is almost so succinct that whatever you're going through and struggling with, they're doing the same thing. Just it may be a different scenario. It may be the same lesson, just in two completely different areas of your lives. The thing is you're both working. Just because they're not telling you about it, you're not telling them about it. It's the same thing. It could be job with you and family with them or whatever, but it's pretty much the same shit.
It's parallel. You would
Yeah,
not believe how
it's
parallel
crazy.
this is. We've been getting validations from people that's like, I was freaking out one morning and I was going through this and I lost my shit on somebody. And then I all of a sudden was like, oh crap, how did this affect my twin? And then that person texted their twin, and their twin was going through the exact same scenario with different people in a different environment.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's like you would not believe that how integrated you guys are.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't, yeah, people aren't going to be texting. You're not going to text your twin all day. Hey, what are you doing right this minute? Blah, blah, blah. But the people that have been able to catch that, or they're communicating with their twin in 3D and they happen to catch the validation of it, you're way more integrated than you think you are.
Sleep patterns. It could be your emotions are so tied together that because you're going through the exact same situation at the exact same time, that you both are feeling the exact same thing at the exact same time. It's just,
Yeah.
it's mind blowing at how once you become completely integrated like this, that everything does parallel.
This is why it's so important to be in tune with your 5D and your telepathy, because we're supposed to be supporting our twin in 24/7 energetically. So if you're leading them by making sure that they're in their best state at all times, if you're in tune with your 5D, if you're in tune with your telepathy, if you feel something's going wrong, actually I put an article out, I don't know, like last week about the cord, like the sensations in the cord, how to know what's going on with your twin based on your heart chakra sensations and the physical symptoms that you're getting indicates what's going on with your twin. If you're interested in that, it's on our Facebook group, but I put it up in the YouTube channel in the community section too. But your job is to basically monitor and make sure that your twin energetically is supported all the time. If you feel like something's going wrong, you can go to 5D and go, okay, what the hell's going on? How can I help you? Telepathically, you can ask the same thing. But it's super important, because if you're helping them address their shit throughout their day and help support them energetically, you're going to help them vibe high consistently, which is the whole job.
And also it's as you move through your scenario, you're going to help them. This dude's having a really bad day. I didn't even say anything to him. That kind of thing. It's accepting them for where they are on their journeys. But as you shift into that mindset with everybody else, the same that you do with your twin, because everybody's like, well, I love my twin. I'm loving him, trusting him unconditionally. But if a dude cuts you off in traffic and you sit there and you stew about it for 10 minutes, what do you think you're doing to your twin?
You're annihilating your twin, because we can see it. It takes seconds.
As twins, we're supposed to be modeling this for people. And how do you model it if you don't understand it? Anyway.
So this person is saying, he's talking about negative energies masquerade as God. Yes, that's why we were talking about, it's super important to validate, walk into your communication with team saying, I am only communicating with 100% holy beings, period. 100% holy, truly holy Father God, that kind of stuff. He's saying lead DM by examples. Unconditional love and respect. Respect to their karmic or soulmate and their family, and leave them to their family to learn what they're supposed to learn. That's God's job. Just send them love. It's not God's job when you're a twin. But I totally agree with what you're saying. Everything that you're saying is totally valid. We're supposed to lead them in unconditional love. We're supposed to love and respect the karmic. We're supposed to love and have faith and trust that our twin is going to do what they're supposed to do, because they need to move through this in their own way. You need to love them enough to go, this is your life. I trust you with it. God's job is to guide and to orchestrate. Our job as a DF is to lead our DM. Just send them love. Yes, send them love, but communicate with them in the 5D and through telepathy. If you guys need help with the 5D, we can blast somebody's 5D wide open in half an hour to an hour in a private session. We also have 5D meditations up in our scheduler. So you can just follow through it when it's convenient for you and learn how to do it. But it's key. You have to be able to communicate with your twin on a soul level and send them love. Do whatever you can to assist them. Ask them, what can I do to help you? What do you need from me most? Usually the DMs will say, just love me. Just be there. Don't go anywhere. Just love me. That's what every time we'll go and connect to a DM. They're like, holy crap, I just need her to love me and support. That's it.
Right.
But you do so by saying, what can I do to help you? I'm here to support you. I love you no matter what. That's all it is. That's love. It's unconditional love. No matter what they're going through, you're going to be there. Ooh, detachment. Sorry about detachment. I want everybody to stop for a second and think about this. This was so great. Tanya got this through Michael. It was amazing. I want you to think of the most painful situation that you think that your twin has put you through. Like you're like, well, he did this to me, or she did this to me, or because of this twinship, this was the most painful thing I've experienced. It was horrible. Holy crap, I never want to relive that ever again in my life. This was like a game changer for us. And I want you to think about that. Go back and remember it. Whatever that situation was. It could be when they could have like married the karmic. Well, whatever. You could find out they lied to you, or they popped out another kid, or they disrespected you in public. I mean, it could be anything. It could be anything. Think about that moment and ask yourself, how does it make you feel? If it doesn't make you feel anything, if you're like, that needed to happen, then that's detachment. If you're still holding on to some kind of hurt or some resentment, but he did this to me, or if you feel guilty about something, you need to go in and figure out why that's still bothering you and dissolve it.
Yeah. Most of the time it's, team uses they like to use our reactions, our emotional reactions, to see exactly whether we're over something or not. If we even say, okay, we mastered one thing, they're going to toss something else at us that quite possibly could be worse than the one before, just to test and see if we've mastered it and moved through it.
Totally.
Because we've all been through some really nasty ones. But the thing is that it's your emotional reaction still to it, as to whether you've moved through it, processed it completely, gotten from it exactly what you needed to get from it. Every time there's tests and stuff that pop up for Lynn and I, we're sitting here going, okay, what are we supposed to be getting from this? There's got to be something, or we wouldn't be going through this scenario. Well, I thought we had taken care of this, 3 years ago. But here it is, kind of the same scenario. Well, they're just testing. So it's not always that you haven't mastered it, but they're wanting to make damn sure that you have, because we have to be mastered in all of it, everything. It's easy to say you're mastered, and it's kind of hard to be truthful with yourself sometimes. But if there's any venom left at all, any sadness, any kind of emotional attachment to it whatsoever,
any resentment or blame or any of that,
it needs to be explored.
Somebody, and a couple of people have mentioned recently, like communicating in 5D is like chaser energy. When you're loving your twin, you're not chasing them. You're supporting them and you're leading them. That's what that is. So if you're not giving your twin what they need, because you're looking at this like, well, I don't want to give it to him, he's not giving it to me. First of all, that's expectation. That's conditional. If you're only doing it because you want to get something back, that's what karmics do. It's like, this isn't a game. This isn't like the rules book where they talk about all of these, only give what you get, this kind of crap. This isn't a game. This isn't hard to get. This is, I'm going to love you unconditionally.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you're, God said to somebody that we were working with recently about trust, because she's like, I'm having trouble trusting him because in the past he's done this to me, and valid. It was absolutely valid. Mm-hmm. Normally you'd be like, well, I'm not going to trust him. He is untrustworthy. He has proven to, disrespect me or betray me in the past. So I'm going to walk away from him. That's totally valid. Right. But as a twin, this is your job, is to figure out what that distrust is rooted in and dissolve it. So God actually said to her, I remember him saying, see, now I just completely lost it. If you want him to be trustworthy, you have to trust him first. It's like, you have to do it in that. He didn't say it like that, because now, of course, it just completely blew my mind. But in order for him to be trustworthy, he has to be trusted. You have to lead him.
Yeah.
So if you can, and a lot of them, they're so expecting to have a certain response to everything that you have to break them of it. And it's not comfortable for them. Mm-mm. They're going to lash out. They're going to push. They're going to be like, I'm going to throw my wall back down because this sucks. I know that this is what the reaction I'm going to get. You have to break them of it. Prove to them that that's not what this is. Mm-hmm. Oh, somebody said earlier, maybe I'm not feeling led to say anything to them. You need to love them no matter what. If they're needing something, you'll feel compelled to provide it for them. Do it. Do it when you're feeling it. For those of you that have PTSD, or you don't even know you have PTSD, or if your twin has PTSD, you might be getting blocked to them. If you have released their PTSD blocks, they're probably having meltdowns. You've got to be in tune with them. Because they're needing to navigate this stuff in a way that's not going to completely take them under. But you might find that if your twin is having issues with PTSD, you might not feel anything at all, other than, I got to send him love. I got to send him support. I got to find out how he's doing today, or check in with him. You might not feel anything at all, because if they're having it really, really bad, some of the DMs lately have been going through a lot of this PTSD where their twin is like, how come, they would tell them later, and the twin was like, how come I didn't feel that? Holy shit, am I broken? Sometimes the shit is not just PTSD, but sometimes the stuff that the DMs are going through right now is so fucking overwhelming and unbearable that they are on the brink. And if you would feel that and not recognize it was them, even if you do recognize it them, it's a lot to shoulder if we're supposed to transmute it. So if you're starting to feel it, picking it up from them, they're going to in turn feel it from you. And then they're going to start looping it and taking some of that from you. And it could potentially push them over the fence. So there have been a lot of DFs that are like, I didn't feel it. And teams like, we were blocking you, because if you felt it, you start going down, they're going to feel that. And it's going to be too much for them.
Yeah.
So it's really, really, really important that even if you're not feeling anything, still go into 5D and check on them, because they could have something major going on. You're not even aware of it because you're being blocked to it because it's way too much. Mm-hmm. So you got to really harness this 5D and telepathy with your twin to make sure you're constantly
even
doing whatever you can to monitor how they're doing and do what you can to help them.
Even throughout the day, it's not going to hurt anything. You're not going to bombard them with love, faith, and trust, sending it through the cord. You will never do that. So it's kind of like you're thinking of your twin throughout the day. Say you do it 6 times a day. It's not going to hurt him. It's only going to help him. Mm-hmm. And you'll eventually start feeling something come back. It may be subtle at first, but it's more along the lines of getting that communication running through that cord. The cord is, it's living and breathing, just like we always say. If you're not feeding it, it's dying. It's not like overwatering a plant. You can't kill it from doing it.
That is, I think, the end of the questions. It's been a really long meeting. Thank you guys. We're kind of rambling, but all really, really, really good questions. And if you guys need any help at all, we are here. We do have private sessions, one-on-one, and then joint sessions, and lots of support in the Facebook groups. If you are not in our Facebook group, We have an amazing group of very positive, progress-minded twins in our Facebook group. It's called Twin Flames Making Progress. Come on in. If we can't answer something, there's a whole bunch of twins in there that are just amazing, that are all really hardcore, progress-driven twins that are moving into unconditional love and doing what they need to do. So join us.
Great.
There's that. Have a good night or a good morning or a good day, wherever you are. And love y'all.
Love you.
Bye.
Bye.